before, right? So I will give you a supplementary so-called study note, okay? Let you understand, because you want to do a project, you must understand what is the scope of a project like. Because yesterday we are talking about scope and the work breakdown structure, all this thing. Okay, in the PowerPoint slide that I found in the internet, we will show you some of the example. Okay, so first of all, good morning to every one of you. Are you there?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning,
yesterday,
sir.
Because of my computer crash, I managed to restart back, or else my computer gone case. Right. So sorry about that. Okay, we'll continue. So we'll continue next one now that we talk about sustainability. Right. Okay. Sustainability in the UK have signed up protocol agreement on the sustainable development. I take for Singapore, for instance, everywhere we go, we talk about sustainability. That is the future, so to speak. So future, the nation is, every nation is trying to do this because you can see the condition in the world, right? Now, typically have drought in certain country, they get flood in certain country, storm also in certain country. So all these things because of we burning fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is a crude oil that we take from the ground, we burn and use for energy, for industrialization. Everything we use, and we manufacture polymer, plastic, and this plastic is not degradable. That means it's not biodegradable. That means you take the plastic, you pack the thing after eating the food inside, the plastic throw away onto the ground, and you never burn it. You stay in the ground, stay on inside the sea, and it will damage the environment, right? So because of this, in the world now, also due to burning of fossil fuel, okay, environment emission standard also getting higher and higher. People breathe with toxic gases and all these things, end up get cancer, get lung damage, etc., etc. Right? So in terms of sustainability, everybody, every nation, they are trying to do this. But say it's easier than done because in today's economic situation, it's not easy as what we always see. Okay, so because of this, we have a lot of issue, government side, and of this, also the reason last 2 years or 1 year war with China and Russia and Ukraine. So you can see that everything is happening. And now Sudan, the country have its own civil war, fighting each other. So the war is never ending. Let me tell you. Right. So because of this, every nation is concerned about the environment development. So in order to maintain generation, we have to practice sustainability in terms of hello. Try to practice sustainability to ensure that vegetation is growing, natural thing is coming back normal. And yesterday also I saw a news on this Antarctic Circle and Arctic Circle. The glacier is slowly melting, and the world will have more flood, more sea rather than the land. because the water from the north and the south side, the Arctic and Antarctic, the ice will melt and cover the whole world, more area. Okay, that means area do not have people already. The whole land will be flooded by water, seawater. So it's very important, sustainability. Okay, so at this strategic point, okay, the project management should elicit from the client the contribution expected for the project for utilization of sustainable construction approach. All right. So in Singapore, very clear cut is one job that we do in sustainability is in Singapore is the water. Okay. The water we throw out into the drain, common drain, have to be filtered and cleaned before it can discharge onto the common drain that go into our reservoir. All right. So they have to put some sort of filter the earth, the particle out from the water, and the clean water will discharge out. If you don't believe, you walk around the construction site, you can see some filtering equipment in the construction site. All right, that's one area. Another area is your orientation of building. The orientation of building can help in energy saving because of sunlight. They don't want to face the sunlight directly, so they orientate such a way that the wall faces the sunlight, so the transmission of heat into the building will be not that hot, so your aircon condition can reduce. The set point of 24 degrees can increase to 25, yet the whole house, building still sustainable for people working, right? Basically, the principle of sustainability set out by Dieter 1998 is as follows. This is a UK protocol, UK agreement with other countries. Okay, Department of Environment, Transport, and Region. All right. They call it Dieter in US. In UK. So what does it mean? It follows the social progress and need for all, effective protection of the environment, prudent use of natural resources, and the maintenance of high and stable economic growth and employment. So you can see under this sustainability agreement or protocol by the UK government, it says about social progress and need for all. That means you develop certain thing is going to use by all the people, but must be sustainable. That means it's renewable, easily find, easily do, and go back to the nature again. Effective protection of environment, just for example, like the emission of toxic gases, right? Where we burn fossil fuel. Now they are trying to change this one. They reduce the fossil fuel to what? Windmill, hydrostatic power, okay, electric power, all right. Sometimes they say also nuclear power. Okay, that is the emission is very, very low, right? So you can protect the environment, right? Third one, prudent use of natural resources. Whatever you use just enough. Don't over excessive. Okay, like for example, in Singapore, we always, the government always practice say what? Whatever you use enough, but not excessive. So take for instance in restaurant, okay? In restaurants, sometimes big family come, they don't estimate the food that they want to eat. Okay, they keep on ordering. This one happened in China long ago, right? Chinese people like to order food, put on the table. If you cannot finish, it's good because you left the remaining on the table. It signifies that you are rich, you have money, you can spend, right? But today, in Singapore context, no. If you order food you never eat, the restaurant will charge you, right? Like for example, you go to take a buffet lunch, you have so many food there. Then everything you take, and until you eat, you cannot finish. And you have to pay for the extra food that you take out. Okay? So this is the way to, they call it prudent use of natural resources. Right? Maintenance of high and stable level of economic growth and of course, in a country, we want to have economic growth. Economic growth means the people's standard of living getting higher, the housing that they stay is getting better, more people is willing to work and more people will get the work and will do what is required to sustain the economic growth. Like Singapore, last time we talked about manufacturing. Manufacturing is one of the main point of economic growth. And slowly, our Singapore government changed to, we are the center of Southeast Asia. So they make into a marine economics. That means to say they have ship passing by, we earn some commission on that. So slowly, we progress to transport, right? We progress to logistic. And now, in today's trend, Singapore is what? Artificial intelligence, computing, software program, cyber security, etc. All these things will help the industry to be more efficient, more correct use of resources. Correct. All this software program can help to determine the resources use, right? So sustainability in PM box will be AAPM book will suggest that detailed principle can be summarized, okay, as sensitivity to the project environment within and beyond the client business must consider the impact of political, ecological, okay, economics, technological, regulatory, okay, okay, organizational impact of project on the local, wider community within which they are located. Okay, this is the statement I will explain later. Can all of you show your face? Miss Mount to take your beautiful and handsome face. Okay. Okay, show your face, please. Ravi, Kanaga. Oh, this where Marugan, you every time show your beautiful car. I don't want to see car. I want to see faces, please. Buvana, Rivan. Abdul Rahim, where's your face? Hello, hello. Don't show your vehicle. I know you get good car lah. But Singapore nowadays, one car, small 1.6 cc. How much you know? At least 160 to 70,000. Right? Singapore dollar. You convert that, I don't know how many lakhs you're going to have. Okay, hold on. I see whether he take. Okay, done. Okay. So let's talk about this. Okay. In any project management, be it construction, be it other discipline, okay, all the contractor who get the project and together work with the client, okay, they must consider when they build a building, when they come up with a production process, they must consider the impact of political, right? So in the sense of political is more on pleasing the party, pleasing the government, how you design the building such a way that you can, okay, meet the government regulation, right? Second one is ecological. Okay, ecological is basically is a environment, natural environment. Right, for example, in Indonesia, right, deforestation. That means to say you chop the tree to grow to construct a building just for the sake of living, but the ecological cycle is no more. That means the tree cannot grow, the plant, all these things, no more space to grow, and the birds, the natural fauna, birds, all doesn't come to that place, then the ecological system destroyed. All right. The thing is economics. So when you build a house, for example, in Singapore, we continue building condominium and government house because you have the basis for building this house. Because why? Everybody want a house. So as the population grow, as Singapore, they encourage foreigner to come in Singapore and settle down in Singapore. Hopefully you become PR or Singaporean citizen, then you can buy a house. So this is for economics expansion. Sometimes you have no choice, but if you build in Singapore, you can see whatever they build, they have a natural planting concept. That means to say, a house you build, you have natural plantation, you have the tree, they plant back the tree, whatever they can do. All right. Technological is where you use your technology to improve the life of the people, to improve the situation that the people living in that environment. So you use technology to assist you in doing specific design, specific analysis, to ensure that the environment you live in can last for more than 100 years. Okay. Regulatory is basically to control, okay, the control of reducing plant and all this sort of thing. So when you do something, you have to go through a regulatory inspection, okay, and follow standard, okay, international standard, etc. So all these things will help in the sustainability. Organization impact of the project on the local and wider economy, where we, in this type of area in Singapore, is they call it, government encourage people to practice what CSR, corporate social responsibility. That means the organization will promote this CSR to tell people, the community, that they build the building is good for the people, good for the environment, good for sustainability, right? So you build a building, the sustainability, they use a lot of sustainability material nowadays. Recycle, recycle materials, all these things they use within the building. So in that aspect, okay, you must be sensitive toward whatever you do in the country. Okay. PM need to consider the emergent project objective from the point of view, planning, organizing, managing a sustainable construction project. All right. In the first instance, when you get the project, the client will tell you what can be done. Okay, what are things you need to consider to create a sustainable construction process. Okay, a project that delivers built environment asset causes minimum damage to its natural, social environment. Okay, minimize the use of non-renewable resources, enhance the quality of life for all, will be more acceptable to future generation. Okay, Singapore government, especially the past after COVID, we are very aggressive. The government are very aggressive in terms of sustainability program. They come out every day. You can see the news, and they announce this sustainability and all this sort of thing. Even in Parliament, they also debate about all this. So the government of Singapore is very serious about this because our country is very small. So if you don't adopt the sustainability timeline or sustainability process, the Singapore small country will eventually disappear. All right, so take note of that. Okay. So at this strategic stage faces real difficulty in accessing the relative worth of competing causes of action in terms of relative sustainability. So they are measures of performance already established, and they can provide energy rating for different design. BRAC, okay, Preem have produced, okay, a framework, okay, for the design as a whole can be scored against the established set of performance measures for environment-friendly development, right? So this is energies, or rather the energy rating, so-called quality standard, right? In Singapore, we call it green mark. Okay, this green mark, if you type on the what we call the internet, you can access it. The green mark is controlled and regulated by Building Control Authority in Singapore under the Building Control Act, okay, the law. So this green mark will tell people design the building, what are the energy saving or and water saving, etc. So you might design to that direction, that regulation. If not, your building cannot be built. Okay, the architect in Singapore, the designer, know about all these things because they are trained to develop a building in that way. Because if not, they cannot be approved for the building. All right, and this one student, okay, university student in Singapore, basically they learn through all these things. So when they are architect, they also encounter these training courses that will teach them what to do, how to design, etc. So by every engineer know about this, then you can do a good job for the sustainability capability. All right. No measure can guide the PM in terms of delivering individual projects that are fully sustainable. To build a building that's not 100% sustainable, if you can achieve 50–60%, you are really given a green mark or energy saving building. Very good. Okay. Eco Home have produced a checklist and rating system socially owned housing scheme. So this one is in UK, right? In Singapore, we call it green mark, right? Okay. So project management will need to consider the feature of sustainability construction, including social, economics, and environmental pillar. The social pillar call for client to consider issues related to social justice, wealth distribution, and poverty and may cause the PM to seek to utilize local labor and firm or of subcontractor, right? So in Singapore construction, you know that we use a lot of foreign talent, foreign labor, because those type of job we don't have the people to do, so we have to rely on foreign labor, right? And also the government also treat the foreign labor very fair, okay, provide them, assisted them in housing, place to sleep, and etc. Right? Economic pillar, okay, call on client to consider issue related to substitution of natural from human-made capital may cause the PM to utilize supplier and subcontractor supply chain that adopt environmentally friendly practice. For example, you buy certain equipment, all these things, the supplier will tell you, or they use this recycled material to make this product and we sell to you all these things. It's quite common nowadays, right? Okay. So environmental pillar call on the client to consider related to the impact of the proposed construction project on the environment, land, natural resources, as well as flora and fauna. All right. So this one you must take note. Whatever they build in Singapore government practice is what? Whatever you build the house there, okay, the surrounding must be covered by environment friendly or natural way of doing things. For example, like when you build a building finish, the vacant area, you have to plant tree to let the tree grow back so that they can attract all the birds and etc. Right? So this is important. In Singapore building, you can see now we are staying in a HEV flat. We also can see that there are trees and grasses and everything, right? So environment pillar is also call on the client to consider related to building and their component. A project management must seek to provide emphasis on quality of life by planning, organizing, managing a project within the carrying capacity of the supporting ecosystem prevailing in the locality of the project. So in Singapore, we have all these things, okay? And the ecosystem is not so prominent, okay, in Singapore. But because of the land area small, we only can allocate certain area for natural environment, like near the reservoir, you know, all the reservoir, all the natural habitat, small area for the animals to station there, to live there, or to fly over there, birds from other country. So all these things we have done. Okay, like Singapore Botanical Garden, we have many things there, right? But a small space, but contain many things. You can go there and spend one day walking. You can see a lot of things, right? This is why the government is trying to do, right? The project management must assess potential design in terms of performance, quality, service, life required in terms of absolute longevity and finances. So on this thing is like, for example, I stay in this house. Okay, this is government built house sold to the citizen. Okay, the leasehold is 99 years. So throughout this period of you staying, that means I cannot live until 99 years. So my children stay. So throughout this period, they will maintain the ecosystem within the estate. Okay, they will provide so-called the quality of life in terms of natural environment. Maybe they provide a walking track around your estate where a lot of tree growing up, all these things. So this is the way that the government doing in Singapore, right? If you notice in Hong Kong, the resident there, they build a house, it's permanent there. They never retrofit the building, retrofit the garden, retrofit the vegetation, all this. is very seldom. Singapore is very common now, right? Everybody, people talking about sustainability, they will do it. Provided the country is rich, if country is poor, you cannot do that. Okay. So you can see that, okay, you want to do this, the company that is going to be a contractor to build house, okay, their staff all must be energy manager. One instance. Okay, this requirement is a requirement for building maintenance, etc. So here they say that registration, right? They talk about the requirement for sustainable development. Okay, so they adopt certain law and practice. So you are engineer, you go through the course, you must, when you design the building, you must consider about sustainability for the building. Okay? So the main problem for the project manager wishing to plan for, organize and manage a construction project and that adhere to the principle of sustainability construction is the lack of recognizable supply chain that are committed to the similar principle. Okay, in Singapore, we are coming out. Okay, a lot of suppliers that supply the material to the construction, they are somewhat, okay, sustainable company. Okay, what means to say they buy the material is they use the manufacturer, they use the recycled material, they use material that doesn't destroy the environment, all this sort of thing. Okay, so you can see that while you are trying to do all these things to buy better sustainable material, the cost will go up, right? So today construction cost is not cheap, right? So a sustainable project is perceived as being more risky than others. As a result, initial price forecast could be inflated. This trend could cause the continued adherence to the principle of sustainable construction to be abandoned by the client. Yes. Okay. Certain company, they never take into sustainability cost. They don't know, they go and tender the job at low price. Then within a contract, they say that, building the structure must be how many percent recycled material, all this sort of thing. Then when you buy those raw material using recycled material, it's cost added more higher. So the project cannot sustain in terms of cost. So they will close down the company. Take note. Okay. Another reason of this is because of government. Okay, Singapore government is very conscious about this sustainability. So they make sure that every construction, the contractor, the client, okay, the owner can have certain percentage of sustainable construction material, right? And in this way, the building can be sustainable, but also on the other hand, government give them certain tax incentive, right? To make sure that you are viable when you do this type of project. Okay. So interaction between client and project sponsor and the project manager acting as a principal advisor. Okay, you have to advise all this sort of thing when you come to tender first. Before you release a contract to a specific contractor, you gather the contractor who want to tender the job. You have a briefing process. You'll tell the people, the contractor, the subcon, what is the requirement of this project. So you as a project director, you bring that information to your office. you discuss with the designer, architect, and whether you can tender the job before with the additional cost, with the material that the client want to do or want to use, that material, whether it's expensive, whether the supply chain is there or not, whether there is a manufacturer or the supplier is there to constant supply this type of material. You never know. So you have to find out more then before you submit the tender document. Otherwise, you straight away tender and then you get the job, you will be in deep problem, okay, in terms of cost. All right. So you can see all the briefing process is there. I don't want to talk about. Okay. So problem. Okay. Most academic work been devoted to identifying, trying to rectify problems related to poor briefing practice. They include initial assessment, unclear role and responsibility, and unrealistic programming and time scale. Right. So this is always happen in everyday life. Because construction worker, construction engineer, every now and then good opportunity come, salary given higher, they will leave. So people come in, the people don't understand what it's all about, then you have a lot of problems. Okay. So like all this sort of thing, lack of appreciation of real actual end user. So all these things boils down to quality of the people, educated people, experienced people, and the way that you manage the project, and financial stability of the company. If you lack all these things, you don't need to do the project, right? Or forget about doing the project. Okay. So you can see all this. I don't want to talk about this. Okay, outline the process management through closure and feedback. This is under Johari format. Okay, so you can see known is the best. Okay, we want to cater to this known area when you do a project. Okay, PM may have to try and resolve briefing issue for a project in two-way continuous process utilizing establishment of client empowerment, project dynamic, end user involvement, visualization, and team building. Visualization maybe could be use a 3D drawing to tell people how the building is being built, all right? And the team building process, there is a communication, the team building, how you want to lead the whole team, whether by what type of leadership you want, all right? So the client empowerment, all right? So how much is the client? Financially, they are stable, they can get people in, all these things. So when you do a project briefing to the people or to the contractor, you must understand all this sort of thing. Okay? Okay, promoting empowerment is a two-way communication process, right? So take note of this. So empower is to provide a sustainable business. So you must empower your people to do things, to make decisions on their own, provided you have a system of management. All right? Take note of this. Okay, here written, what I tell you is cover all these things. Okay, project dynamic. Okay, management of project dynamic, there is always a project dynamic when you do a construction project. Okay, you need to satisfy your client by ensuring the construction is on time, on design, correctness, okay, and time schedule. You make sure that the contractor and subcon, they do the job well without any complication. You make sure that the payment of your project for the incoming payment and outgoing to your salary, to your people's salary, contractor, supplier, all these things must be appropriately done by each individual department. So here you can see that agree method and all this sort of thing. Normally, before the project start, the client, right, and the project management team will agree on certain principle, certain project deadline, and certain quality standards so that the client can be satisfied, right? All these things will work together, and once you agree, this component of discussion will become a project dynamic where every day you work, every day you have communication within this group of people so that your project can done successfully, right? So visualization of all the computerized 3D drawing, BIM, all these things. Huh? Okay. Appropriate team building, I think I already tell you already. Right. Stakeholder management process. Right. This is where your people, okay, the supplier, as what you say here, is internal stakeholder are your company people. Okay. The stakeholder can be divided into demand side, right? Customer, financial, client, employee, etc. Supply side, project manager, architect, quantity surveyor, and all this, right? So you can see that. Example of the individual organization on either side of the external stakeholder can you consider private, public, right? Public is the government or the regulation, and the private one is the local or the client, environment group, conservationists, and archaeologists, right? So all these things you have to take into consideration when you construct a site. Stakeholder management process. Okay, you can see. So it's all interlinked, intertwined together. For example, property developer is a main owner. They have a design consultant to advise them. They have a principal contractor to advise them on the project. They have a network accessibility to the town center. Okay. Development uses of housing, commercial, and industry. So in today's commercial condominium, you can see within the building they have commercial, got shop, got shopping mall, etc., etc. Okay, and this will link with the government. Okay, local authority, general public, and commercial bank who loan you the money to do the construction of the building. Right, power. Okay, talk about power. Talk about what is your empowerment. Okay, who will be given the empowerment to do the process, and you can know. Okay, once you develop this empowerment process, the stakeholder management, you can tell people that you are the designer, what is your scope, etc., etc. Right. So this is given before even the work start, and the contractor, your employee know what they are supposed to do. This happen every day, okay, in the local context, right? Stakeholder mapping, right? So you must know which are the stakeholders that create problem for you in a way. So you have to learn to manage them, right? Okay. So what classified this influence is economic, stakeholder, technological, social, and political. That is later early on I explained already. Okay. So Newcombe said that 2003 says stakeholder management are likely to emerge. Okay. As follow. Project need to be managed for the benefit of all stakeholders, definitely. Project managers are responsible for all stakeholders, whether it's an internal stakeholder or outside external stakeholder. The project need to act in their interest and the best interest of the project. So the project manager or director must know all these things and how they manage. Okay, in construction site, the project manager always are the PR people. Okay, public relation. All right. Focus on stakeholder rather than client management is a clear shift of current practice, represent the potential interaction with increasing complex society on the well-being on the construction project. So you can see that today's world is, you cannot only focus on stakeholder, you must focus on the construction process, everything within the project scope. All right. Okay, take note. Oh. Any question? Hello.
Oh, sir.
Okay, I'll touch on this one. It's too long. I will do half, then next week do again. Oh, so you must take note. This practice assignment, I will give you more questions, not only 3 and 4, maybe up to 8 questions. Okay, I will give you 2 days. Monday I finish this scope, then Monday night I will give you the assignment. Then you have Tuesday and Wednesday to do the assessment. Okay, scope planning, as we said, in the construction site, we always tender the job, right? Then you must know what are you tender. So scope is about what is the job entail you to do, the tender document, what do you need to do. Okay, from there you can come out a statement of work. From there you can develop WBS. All right, so let's look at it. Okay, scope planning. Scope planning, defining the scope, project requirement, and the scope input and requirement of traceability metrics and work breakdown structure. And finally, your statement of work. All right. So first thing you do, you take the contract, you look at the tender document, define the scope that you are capable of doing, then you tender. Otherwise, you don't tender. All right. Let's look at it more detail. Okay. One of the main activity in project planning is to determine and document the project scope. Project scope is a definition of all work needed to successfully meet the objective. All right. So you must know what you are doing to achieve your objective. Okay. Must be described in sufficient low level of detail. Right. Be more specific as you can, because you're doing a job. Because once a statement right, okay, you write clearly so that your supervisor and engineer know what to do. If you write a very generic one, I tell you, the engineer also don't know what to follow. Okay, you come with your master plan, right? So how the result will be measured, and so you and your sponsor will know will know with certainty whether the part of the scope can be achieved or not. Requirements should tie to the thing like the organization's strategic plan and business objective. Mention things that are not explicitly not included. Is this limited to certain location, etc. Right? So you must know how to do. Okay, be more specific, and your statement must clearly stated so that they can achieve in line with your business objective and your strategic plan, right? Okay, not measurable. Measurable is when the system in place, student will be able to register classes using browsers. Okay, system will be fast, etc. Right? I don't want to talk about this. It's not related. Okay, type of requirement: functional, non-functional, technical, business, user, regulatory. Right? There's so many things that you need to consider when you are drafting out the scope of the project. Okay, software requirement, or measuring, what sort of measurement do you want to have? Okay, time, quality, cost. Okay. Interview. This one is not necessary. You do about project. Okay. Project sponsor. Who is the boss? Management. Who is the team? Right. The top management. What are the plans that you have for this project? Who is a user of the system? Who is the customer, competitor, supplier, and regulation? All these things you have to consider. Right. Okay. Metrics. Okay. This is something like master plan. Being required to their origin. Trace them throughout the project process, make link to requirement, okay, business opportunity, etc. Then your project scope, WBS delivery, design, development, test, strategy and scenario, etc. Right? So these are all the metrics that you have to create to make sure you measure the project accordingly. Okay. So for example, like this one, traceability metric, you can use it. Concept is there. Okay. Talk about unit identifier, maybe the WBS ID, code, statement, source, all these things. Right? Creation. These all the project output, deliverer, and other direct result. Identify all the activity required to deliver the output, subdivide the activity into sub-activity and task, identify the deliverer and the milestone of each step. Okay, this is the WBS package that you're going to do, right? Okay, creating list of activity required to create all deliverer in the scope. Activity must be broken down into smaller tasks in a hierarchical pattern. That means from bottom, you do the foundation, you build the structure, you build the floor, you build the wall, step by step. Okay, could be a hierarchical pattern. Do not focus on sequence or dependency at this point. All right. So what are the things you do? You break up into smaller, in a sequential pattern. Okay. Okay, like this one. Clean room, how you do, all the process is all given. Okay. So following the numbering plan, your every WBS, there should be a WBS code. Okay. From the code, you refer to the dictionary or to your project dictionary, you will know. Okay. WBS creation, remember 100% rule. Combination of the box of each level represent 100%. Okay, so you break up into small group, and this group will link to the bigger group to the final project. Okay, you cannot left out anything, because once you left out in your plan or in your schedule, your project manager or project supervisor, once they look at it, they ask the men to do, but they miss out certain part. Who knows, the building will collapse. Right? So take note of that. So the designer must be very well aware of all the components of a building. Okay? At lowest level, WBS consists of work packages. It is important that each work package is clearly defined and can be easily assigned. The work package level is where time estimate, cost estimate, resource estimate are determined. Okay. Okay. So the scope statement, project delivery, main objective, and success criteria. All right. Create and use a template suitable for your organization. In this scope statement, in the website, there are many templates that you can choose. Okay. All right. So you can see the statement. Everything is all stated there. Okay. So scope planning is an essential activity during the planning project phase. Provide relevant, detailed, and measurable deliverer in your scope. Use a traceability metric. Create work WBS as hierarchy, and remember it's 100%. Okay. Statement must include all these things, milestone, exclusion, all this. Okay. So this material I will send to Misma and he will forward to all of you. Any question? Hello?
No, sir.
Okay. Easily about 6 to 8 questions. Monday night, I will give you. Monday, we have another subject of discussion. Okay. Then I will tell Misma Tuesday and Wednesday, you stay home or stay in your classroom, do the assignment. Okay. So no question. Shall I end the subject? Hello?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you,
you
sir.
next week. This weekend is Hari Raya Puasa. So those Muslim, happy Hari Raya. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.